Hi there, welcome into the stream, or the podcast if you're watching or listening on demand. My name is Graham D, and I'm joined by this guy. We call him Bib. I'll read Bib.
Good after morning, Graham.
Good
How we doing?
after morning indeed. I'm good, thank you, mate. It's 11 minutes past 4, which is basically 10 a.m.-ish for anyone that's interested. If you haven't been here before, as mentioned, my name is Graham. This is Bib. We are Ice Cream Uploads. This is the scoop for Friday the 15th of March. I had to double check then to make sure I knew what month it was. It says at the top of the screen, and that helped me. Nice. And this is the scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, if we do say so ourselves. We are here for the next 50 minutes or so to bring you the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. It's not just about the stories, though. We'll give you our thoughts and impressions, and then we want to hear your thoughts and impressions, and then your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. That's kind of how the whole thing works. So if you are in the stream, please do feel free to get involved. We are live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, where we go live once a week.
Yeah.
Each and every single weekday at 10 a.m.-ish is what we're supposed to say there, but yeah, we'll see. So yeah, if you are watching the stream, please do feel free to get involved, because the live stream is turned into a podcast, and potentially now, because we're rolling across TikTok and Instagram and all the rest of the stuff, maybe even into short form content. So if you are in the stream, please do feel free to get involved on behalf of the people that do watch and listen and consume short form content later on. They might not be here with us now, but they will get to enjoy that later on. And there has been over 250,000 people that have watched and downloaded our podcasts, so please feel free to get involved on behalf of those. Before we go any further, this is where I would usually say, sub to the channel, bitches. No, I wouldn't. I'd usually say, please feel free to sub, and if you do sub, you will be including things like the loot drop, which is a monthly giveaway that we do to give back to the people that give to us and help keep things running. But it's also an important time now, because we were just talking about it in the pre-show. If you are watching this any time close to the time this has been recorded, which is, obviously, it's 4 p.m., 15th of March, we will just be putting some posts on social media to announce the fact that we are now partnered with PDP. So I've been using a PDP controller, the Victrix Pro BFG. I'll give you my thoughts and impressions on that soon. We have some video content in the pipeline. But they've also partnered with us across their entire range. So if you're after any bits, you can use our discount code, which is code ICECREAM, and you will save 10% on all purchases while supporting our channel. We aren't being paid by them to do this, by the way. So once again, if we review a product and we recommend it, we can give you a link to us, and you can buy it from there, and you can help us if you like the content. That's all it is. Nice. Hi, Bib.
Hi, Graham. How are we doing?
I'm not too bad, mate. Not too bad. You good?
Yeah, I'm fantastic. I'm looking forward to tonight.
What's happening tonight, Bib?
Play some WWE, Graham. We are playing some more WWE. So I might add, Grave Danger might actually be making an appearance tonight.
Not Dave Granger.
We'll see how that goes. We're not Dave Granger. No, there's a tag team partner.
It's funny though, because I was thinking randomly, completely taking your thunder here, but I was thinking, like, you was obviously so for anyone who doesn't know, Grave Danger is Bibby's WWE character. Grave Danger has appeared
Alter
on the
ego.
He's appeared on the channel before, and like, Bibby having an alter ego got me thinking, because I always used to just make Graham Day or Grey Day, which is my in-game sort of name for stuff. And I was thinking, do you know, I've never made a WWE alter ego. And I was thinking about it, like, last year or the year before, whenever I last watched you properly playing WWE with Dave Granger. And I was like, what can my guy be? What would my shtick be? And then I just thought, fucking, like, I didn't ever fully develop a shtick, but I was going down the avenue of, like, some dude, flat cat, whip it, full on northern as fuck. And then I was like, that's it. My finisher either has to be like the gravy boat or the gravy train, one or the other, like that sort of stuff. And then when you was like Grave Danger, I was like, Grave and Gravy. Gravy Danger. That's the tag team. Fucking Rock and Sock Connection. Move the fuck out of here.
Fucking Gravy Danger. Christ.
Anyway, so that was something that I was just milling through my mind the other night that you've never heard me talk about. I just thought I'd share with you on screen and steal your thunder. But anyway, you were saying, Bib, tonight?
Yeah, so Grave Danger, not to be mixed up with Gravy Danger, will be making... Well, I do want to start my Rise, and I think doing it on Twitch would be perfect because of all the barrage of shit that you're going to get for putting it on YouTube because of all the music and stuff. Like our streams aren't getting muted when I'm playing WWE with the entrance music and stuff like that. Only one of them, and I don't know which one it was. Just one song out of the entire nearly 4-hour stream that we did last Friday got muted. And I can't figure out which one it is to take it out of the playlist.
I feel like I mean, I could be wrong. I feel like it was the NWO theme, just because I know that was on in that sort of window, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah,
not 100%.
So it could be anything. My initial thought with it could have been something like Motorhead. But yeah, I don't know which one it was. So I'll take the risk with that one. But the streams haven't been muted. We haven't had any copyright checks for it. It's clear for us to be able to use it. But on YouTube, I've seen so many people, obviously because we are Next Makers, we have the channel there where other WWE content creators are literally getting their entire work being demonetized because it's featuring music from obviously well-known artists. So I feel like it's definitely one that I can do on Twitch and get away with. So yeah, I feel like it's going to be a little bit of my rise tonight. We'll dip back into my faction 2. We've now finally got the Becky Lynch card that we was looking for. I think we did 3 of the 4 matches last week on stream, and I did the final one this week because it expired on Wednesday night. So we should have some more live events to be able to go through as well to see what cards are available there. So yeah, it's going to be a jam-packed evening.
Speaking of jam-packed as well, we have been speaking to a bunch of our friends. So... What the fuck? Shamranks! Thank you for the gifted to Sweat Dog. What a guy. I appreciate you very much. Sweat Dog, enjoy your ad-free viewing experiences. Yeah. Also, Sleepy Atifan, which looks like it should be Stephen, but you've hit the A instead of the S because it's right next to it. Sleepy Atifan, 1997. Thank you for the follow. I'm going to call you Sleepy Stephen, even though it doesn't say that. I appreciate you for being in here. Yes, as well as being jam-packed with things like PDP and getting controllers for us to review and potentially even give away, we also have other games to be playing soon over the next few weeks as well. We'll try to find time for... There's a couple of games that we've been given access to. I can say what they are. There's no restriction on saying what they are. We just can't show you some of the content for some of them yet. But one of them is Outcast: A New Beginning, and then there's the new Alone in the Dark game, featuring David Harbour and Jodie Comer. Both of those we have codes, so there will be content on those. We just don't know when or how or who or what or whatever. So please do feel free to keep your eyes out for that stuff too. Shout out to THQ Nordic and Jen, who's fucking amazing at THQ Nordic for that support. We appreciate it very much.
Legend.
For now, though, jump into the split screen. Tito says apologies for my tiredness. It's all right, because Tank says Ted Pickle, Ted Pickle, Ted Pickle, Ted Pickle. Nice.
Classic.
I need to remove Spiffy's emote as well from the back end, because there is some duking of the stats going on. Tito and Spiffy have been in cahoots to make Spiffy's emote the most used emote on ICU. And I can tell you that you're already there, by the way. You have already smashed it, both on and off channel. That is now already the most used emote. So you've been spamming it like I think like 300% more or something like that than the next highest one. So basically, yeah, Tito's pickle was in the Tito's pickle. That's not what we thought. It was in the top 5.
That's where I was going with this.
Spiff is now up there. So yeah. So yeah, we're gonna have to ban Spiffy's emote just so that they can't duke the stats anymore. We'll ban all the emotes but the pickle. That's it. We'll just leave that one there. Nice. One thing which I don't expect anyone to do anything for, I'm just a completionist and I like to fill the holes. Wait, what? So we have these 2 emotes, the Stay Frosty and the GG, as golden ones. You only get access to those if you donate bits to the channel. We never tell people to donate bits because there's already ways to support the channel by subbing and things like that. But there still was an open space in there. So now for people that donate 25,000 bits, which is an obscene amount of money, you get access to the golden up the ICU. I don't ever expect anyone to get that. I'm just saying it because we have one. Yay! So yeah, if you ever feel an obscene need to spend an obscene amount of money on stuff that doesn't matter on the channel, then please do feel free to get that. But if not, don't worry. It's fine. It's great. For now, though, what we will do is we will get set to talk about some video game news. If you weren't here for the talk show, for the pre-show, we will be talking about Palworld absolutely smashing it. Star Wars Battlefront, Not so much. Saber Interactive going out on their own. Apex Legends letting a few of their staff out on their own and not in good terms as well. Trying to make a nice following story there. It's not a great situation to make things off. So basically, shit situations at Apex Legends Respawn. And we'll wrap things up with your exclamation mark FF. Free Game Friday. For now, though, Mr. Bibb, you played any Palworld? Do you know what that game is?
I have played quite a lot of Palworld, Graham, and we definitely know what that game is because we were streaming it on launch day.
Yeah, goddamn right. Beyond. This is written by Shubhankar Parijat at Gaming Bolt, and it says Palworld has a budget of just $6.7 million, but it's made tens of billions of profit in yen. Nice. But yeah, still billion. Yeah, okay, you get the idea. Anyway, CEO Takuro Mizobi says Pocket Pair intends to remain a small studio. Big budget AAA games are not for us. So the game industry's health is looking fragile right now, to say the very least, thanks in no small part to the mass layoffs. More on that later. It's been hit with over the last year and a half, and the ballooning costs of developing games have contributed to that significantly. In recent months, there has been no shortage of reports about games that have cost eye-watering sums of money just to get made. Though there are, thankfully, at least some examples of games being made on small budgets and going on to find incredible success. In 2024, there has been no bigger success than Pocket Pair's survival game, Palworld, which accrued 25 million players thanks to Ice Cream Upload streaming it on launch day. Oh, wait, it doesn't say that. That's just me. Taking Bibby's bit and putting it in there. Within just a month of the release. Anyway, speaking with Bloomberg, Pocket Pair CEO Takuro Mizobi revealed that the game's budget was under 1 billion yen, which is roughly $6.7 million. It's unknown if that's limited to development costs or if it also includes marketing costs. Against that relatively tiny budget, Palworld has made tens of billions of yen in profit. Big budget AAA games are not for us, Mizobi says. Looking at the current state of the industry, it's hard to argue against studios' desire to remain small, especially with AAA studios suffering layoffs in spite of their games enjoying widespread success. Marvel Spider-Man 2, for instance, has sold over 10 million units already, but it had a massive budget of $315 million, and developer Insomniac Games ended up as one of several first-party studios to be affected by PlayStation's mass layoffs. Then there's Respawn Entertainment, a studio that has enjoyed consistent widespread success with Apex Legends and Star Wars Jedi games. As part of EA's layoffs, however, a number of Respawn staff has lost their jobs. Do you know what? I'm actually going to stop. And I'm going to jump forward an article. I'm going to reshuffle things. I'm going to bring the Apex Legends story that we have from Eurogamer in here, just because it's mentioned it there, and I feel like the two articles can be done in sync. So this is written by Matt Wales over at Eurogamer. It says, Apex Legends studio Respawn hit by EA layoffs, according to employees, following the news of 670 job cuts at EA. So let's start again. Apex Legends developer Respawn is the latest studio to be affected by EA layoffs. Word began circulating that Respawn Entertainment employees, particularly those on its Apex Legends team, had lost their jobs earlier today, as colleagues and those directly impacted started sharing the news on social media. The Apex team was hit, this is a quote by the way, the Apex team was hit by layoffs today. The Apex Legends level designer Aaron Stump posted, "It sucks seeing some of the people I've worked with for almost 3 years now get let go." Rough day, and another quote, should I say, rough day at Respawn, senior writer Peter Stewart wrote on Twitter/X, quote, "Although I'm thankful to be safe, my thoughts are with everyone affected by the ongoing layoffs, and if there's any way I can help or signal boost, I will do. It's really hard to find the energy and joy to make games in this environment," end quote. Apex Legends global media social lead Alex Ackerman confirmed she was one of those affected by the job cuts, writing, quote, "After 20 seasons of Apex and 5 years at Respawn, nearly to the day, my job has been made redundant and I have been laid off. Working on this game and supporting this community has truly been the honour of my career and the highlight of my life." So we'll stop just there. Kind of both sides of the coin, really.
Yeah.
You have billions of yen in profit for Pocket Pair and Palworld, and still probably billions in profit for EA, but also billions in expenditure, which obviously has paid the ultimate price, and that is the human price. Staffing have been cut. What are your thoughts about all that, Mr. Bibb?
Yeah, to start with the Palworld stuff, because obviously that's something that's very near and dear to my heart. It was, sorry, take away the word was. It is a phenomenal game. It's going through a lot of changes. Like the game that it is now is nowhere near the game what it was when it first came out. That's the beauty of an early access game. This wasn't ever touted as being released as a fully fledged 1.0 launch. This was a game that we knew was going to be in early access for the longest time. So it's got a lot of teething issues. It's got a lot of work and polish to be added to the game before obviously its 1.0 comes out, which I think was touted for mid next year, which is obviously going to be 2025 for those of you that may be watching this in the future. So yeah, there's a lot to do on this, but I did read this morning, I did see on my timeline that Palworld is actually getting its first raid very, very soon. I can't remember what date it was that I saw that.
Shamrans has just written in the chat. They just put an update, but it was only a new raid boss, so not the biggest of updates. And then Tito says saw that in their Discord, so could be there already. Is it there already? If it is, let us know.
Yeah, so it's not as if they're not doing anything with it. They are literally, here we go. It was 8 hours ago. A powerful evil pal has appeared and it's laying siege to the Palpulus Islands. Only the most skilled pal tamers stand a chance against it. I'll put this tweet in the chat for you guys to be able to have a look at your own leisure. So it's Palworld's first raid, Bellinor, is coming soon. That was 8 hours ago. So it's not as if they're just taking everybody's money and running with it. They are literally, it's still updating the game. They're still adding content to the game. I understand Shamranks has put in there that there was 1.1 million players upon launch in January, and in the last 30 days there's 186,000. That this was always going to be the case, especially when the game first launched and people was like, literally it's Pokemon, but you can play it on your Xbox and it has so many more features that you can play with your friends. It was always going to die down because streamers probably have turned away from the game as well. So it's just not in people's eyes. It's not in people's eyesight. Unless you are someone who's literally booting in every single day. A lot of people might have even finished the PAL decks. So there was no need for them to jump back into the game again. Until they start increasing the PAL levels and having new raids and things like that, people might end up putting it down. I don't know how seriously people take, not anyone in my circle anyway, but take their Pokemon journey seriously when they've defeated the final boss, shall we say, or the final gym, and they have filled their Pokedex. People around in my circles don't go online to go and battle everybody else, so they kind of put the game down until the next one comes out. And I don't know whether or not this is going to have that circle of life where people are just logging in every single day. I don't know, but those numbers will not worry Pocket Pair at all. The fact that 1 million people have walked away from their games, so I say so quickly, it's been 3 months, which is a long time in video game, unless you're something like Call of Duty or any other AAA game that has a live service background. I think these numbers are kind of normal. I mean, again, I say normal. They've had 1.1 million players in their game, which isn't normal by any stretch of the imagination unless you are in that top 1% like Call of Duty, like Fortnite, that have unbelievable live service content. So a game that came out of the ordinary, that kind of taken everybody's attention by surprise. Yeah, I think they was more than happy with what they've made off of it so far.
What was the comment from Shamranks? There we go. 186,000 players. A lot of games would absolutely bite your arm off for that, let alone games that cost 6.7 million to develop. So even if they're resting at 186, and naturally that will be on a downwards trajectory because people will be playing it and dropping out. I remember having a conversation with Spike, aka Big Zombie Monkey, friend of the channel. He said that he played it off stream. He didn't stream it because I was like, "Oh, you're not playing Palworld? I know you're interested in like quite a wide variety of games, Pokemon included, kind of stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, no, I've played it. I've finished it. I've gone through. I've done absolutely everything in that game now. I had a week off creating content, so just smashed it for long hours, finished everything I needed to do." And I'm out of it again now. And that's the thing. It has that survival element, but it's not just a survival game. So whilst it has some positives to it in terms of its survival / you collector, I don't know what the genre of a Pokemon game is, so I'll just say I'll just say, rather than collector, I'll just say a Pokemon genre. You know what I'm getting at there.
Yeah.
So it has that survival Pokemon sort of genre, but because a lot of the focus is on that Pokemon and that battling sort of stuff and crafting and building bits alongside it, the survival stuff isn't mega in depth. So you have to keep making sure you're eating and stuff. But by the time you go through and you've got your feeding bags and you've got things producing food left, right, and center and so on, I imagine that's almost kind of, it just drifts off into the distance. You remember the days when you had to craft stuff and you had to build furnaces and you had to catch fox parks and things to burn stuff and cook things and all the rest of the stuff. But that's all automated now. I don't even touch that shit anymore. So there naturally will always be an end point for that. So what is your end game there? Do you have an end game that keeps going, or do you have an end game that closes? And in that sort of sense, it doesn't have a continuous gameplay loop. It does have a finite amount of content within the game, unless you want to add your own creativity in that through the creative functions within the game. But beyond that, not everyone loves that sort of stuff. So yeah, understandably, it doesn't have that sort of gameplay loop. But the fact that it's made tens of, if not hundreds of billions of yen profit, and it only costs 1 billion yen to make, they will be like, okay, well, let's figure out how we add more stuff within this now. But where there was a comment from Tito then, Palworld is good, but it's going to need content soon. Only so much time players can hang on with just bug fixes. I still love the game, but it was always going to be the big question was scalability. There's a small team, and previous developments by the studio were notoriously slow, and I knew that going into it, so a victim of their own success. But it's a problem that you'd absolutely love to have. Your problem is that people can't get enough of what you're putting out there. So I hope they don't throw money at recruitment and throw money at a new office and throw money at every Tom, Dick and Harry developer that comes in there, because they've clearly shown that you don't need that many that many members of staff to have a hit. The downside is, if that would have happened a few years ago, we'd have already had the fucking next game fully in production or something. To do something of that size and that scale with the team that small means that we'll always be years away from the next sort of full game hitting. But swings and roundabouts. We're also, at the same time, within the same breath, saying how shit the releases from the Pokemon Company have been for Pokemon for the last 5 years. Like, I believe there isn't a Pokemon game announced for this year ahead. Imagine that, a full year without a Pokemon game being released. Part of that's probably because the Nintendo Switch should have been out and has been delayed and probably won't come out this year, is likely to come out March next year if the latest rumours are to be believed. So they probably thought, fuck it, yeah, we'll hold the next games for the next Nintendo Switch, which has then just been delayed. So they're like, fuck it, we'll hold the next games to the next Nintendo Switch. But the point of that being is that we were kind of criticising the Pokemon Company for throwing out lots of stuff fast and it being shit. And I don't mind if Pocket Pair go, do you know what? We can't do that to that level. So if Pokemon Company throw out broken shit, imagine what happens if we try to do that with our resources.
Yeah.
It will be broken shit. So, yeah. Sit on it, give us incremental releases, let people come back in at the same time and pick that sort not at the same time, let them come back in and pick that sort of stuff up, whilst you at the same time maybe look at Palworld 2 or a sequel that gives people a whole different arc, or some form of expansion to the world or something like that. So yeah.
I'm very interested to see if the what I mean, they keep on putting the details about how many copies of the game that they've ended up selling on social media. The thing that interests me more than how many have been sold, which is I imagine way above their expectations, is how long people were playing the game for. Like if they have 6 million people that have bought the game from them, and that obviously isn't excluding, I imagine, the Game Pass stuff. If they have 30 to 40 hours per person within that game, which I think I probably topped up like 25, 26 hours on that game, which obviously isn't a hell of a lot compared to some of the people that are in the chat that were playing every single night for the last 60 days or whatever. That's a lot of time spent within the game. It's not one of those that people have picked it up or they bought it and played it for 4 or 5 hours and go, you know what, this isn't for me. I think the average duration of people playing it is probably the most important stat, and it's obviously not one that we're ever going to get. We might be able to get it from things like Scullion, from people streaming it, but in terms of how many people of those 6 million played it for more than 25, 30 hours, proves how good of a game and how addictive it was for the time that it came out.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like we may know a couple of people that might have spent a bit of time in there. I mean, do you know anyone, Tito or Spiff or anyone else? Fucking I remember P Honey going, yeah, I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning, or fucking no, it was even more. I think he was gonna be up till 3, and they ended up staying up until like 8 a.m. or something like that. So, yeah, so. It's one of those. It's one of those. Victim of its own success, but I feel like that's something that they build on and they learn with. And they either just go, do you know what? Fuck it. We can't do that again. Lightning in a bottle. We need some ideas. Let's sell out. And Xbox buys them, because that's something that you keep hearing swirling around. And then they don't move on to AAA. They get someone else to do the AAA for them. They just work on this exclusively with more money, and Xbox put more resources, take their learnings, and then just eventually fucking makes it part of the machine kind of thing. Or we get another sort of like little pop in a few years' time, or the next one just isn't quite the same, and it was that lightning in a bottle sort of thing. But either way, whatever happened, the majority of people, like, if, what was it, 25 million or something sold, or whatever it was, I can't remember what the number was, but whatever that number was, the majority of those people didn't even spend a penny, I think, unless that's not counting the Xbox Game Pass, and that's 25 million on top of it. Then if that's the case, you've made something that's so good that millions of people have enjoyed for free, air quotes, Game Pass, that inspired a bunch of people to spend a bit of cash. What was it, like 20, 25 quid? You can spend
something like
three times that on a full release that's wank. Suicide Squad. Sorry, I just got a bit of a wank release in my throat then. Wait, no, that's not what I meant. No, I didn't get any wank release in my throat. No.
Yeah. Well, it says the last number that they tweeted was 1 month of Palworld, 25 million players, and then they split it out as 15 million copies sold on Steam, and then Xbox 10 million players. Now, obviously, the players is a weird one, because a lot of them probably will be Game Pass subscribers, so I don't know how they're going to separate that out. But even so, taking the 10 million of those Xbox players out, 15 million copies sold just on Steam is outrageous.
Like, most games, most major first-party games don't hit 15 million. Most of them. Some of them, the big ones do, but most of them don't. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, say, The Last of Us Part 2 didn't sell that. It might have done that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't, because you often hear of big titles getting about 13 million sales. So 15 million plus 10 million extra is phenomenal. So
priced
yeah.
beautifully as well.
Yeah.
Like, it was, like, say, 25 quid for a game that's in early access. I mean, that's not out of the ordinary for a game that's in early access. But when this is all said and done, and it's mid-2025 and the game comes out in its version 1, hopefully, this game is easily going to be 50 quid. And the people who have obviously backed it, the 15 million that have backed it early doors, are going to be, well, not saying end game content, but hopefully they'll have a much bigger thing to be able to still grind towards, because obviously sometimes getting it on the ground floor means that it takes the excitement away from the game when it comes out at V1, because it might not be all that different. I'm looking at you, Daisy, but I don't know. Hopefully we get to see a completely different, well, not a different game, because what we have now is what makes the game unique, but a much more polished version of the game with a lot more content in there. Whether or not it's going to be in the form of raids, whether or not it's going to be expanded islands, I'm not too sure. I'm not the developer, but I don't know what their actual roadmap is for where they see the game in the future. And that's obviously something that Pokemon have always had. They've always had, this is going to be your island, we'll bring you some DLC later down the line, but we're going to make the next Pokemon game after this probably be a completely different theme, so that we keep on. You've got the Call of Duty model, where you've got the 3 different studios and the 3 different IPs that keep on rotating. So I say things keep on being fresh when a new game comes out. They're mostly all the same, just on different maps in different eras. But you get where I'm going with this.
Yeah. Okay. We'll make a tangent at this point then. So it's all going well for Pocket Pair. I mean, obviously they don't have the content to keep people sustaining and the numbers going down. But when you've made your money back tenfold, probably, and then some, with partnerships, I imagine, that are stemming off from that in multiple directions, potentially going forward, that's great. And you've only got a small team. So that's even greater because you don't have to worry about the insecurities of securing futures for those members of staff or any of that sort of stuff, which is exactly opposite situation that Respawn Studio is facing right now. So obviously we went into the second article that says Respawn is hit by EA layoffs. So 670 jobs were cut at EA recently. That's on top of the bajillion cuts that have been done across the industry over the last 18 months. Lots even just within the last 3 months. But Apex Legends has had 20 concurrent seasons of content, has remained one of the biggest PRs in the world. Naturally, it doesn't have the same market share, I imagine, that it did when it first started because, you know, the passing of time does that. But has still always been a big player. But I don't even know where I'm going with this. I think we've covered almost every angle of layoffs that you can. I was trying to draw similarities and differences and trying to find where securities and stuff are. But I can't, beyond saying the obvious of, make a game with 3 people and make billions and you are safe. Because beyond that, nothing else seems sacred anymore. Apex Legends, EA, Respawn, earning millions are still letting 670 members of, well, obviously that's not all from Respawn, but are still letting members of staff go, including, as the article mentioned, the head of social, the global social media lead, someone that's worked there for 5 years, 20 seasons of Apex, has been let go. It just goes to show you that how badly managed the industry has been over the last few years. Clearly, everyone thought the COVID bubble was gonna keep on going, and even things that are still massively profitable and out of reach. So yeah, complete antonym from what we've just had, not synonyms at all, but Pocket Pair, happy times. Apex Legends, Respawn, not so much. So yeah, I think we'll leave that there. There's not really too much. There's not really any questions that I can ask maybe that haven't been asked before. Do you think that's bad? Yes, that's bad. Why do you think that's bad? Yeah. Because some people have fucked up and people are paying the cost. Nice. Rinse and repeat and the same story again as we've done it a few times. It's shit. It is proper shit, and we will keep covering it because it's good to be aware of it. But yeah, good people are losing their jobs for absolutely no reason, which is which is shit, and will probably continue to happen at least for the next 12 to 18 months if early predictions are to be believed.
Yeah. We've lost a lot of good people in this industry over the last, I can't even say an extended period of time. It's literally been 6 months.
Yeah.
3 months before Christmas, 3 months after. It's been a horrendous time.
Well, I'm going to reshuffle the order. So the next story that we were going to jump into was Star Wars Battlefront, but we've just been talking about shit times. So we'll take a break from that right now. If you don't understand, Star Wars Battlefront, the Classic Collection, has come out, and a lot of people are hyped for it. It's not had the smoothest launch. But what we will do, seeing as we were talking about the industry at large and people being at risk, we will talk about something to do with Embracer that seems to actually not be going in a bad direction for a change. So yay, potential good news. Chris Scullion at VGC has this story. It says Saber COO confirms development status of 3 games after the Embracer sale raises doubt. So Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, and are you ready, babe? Jurassic Park Survival are still in the works. Skadoosh. So the chief operating officer of Saber has confirmed the ongoing development of 3 of its games after its recent sale from the Embracer Group led to questions being asked about their status. Status? Nice, just status, not 2 T's, not 3. In a post on X, Tim Willits confirmed that Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, and Jurassic Park Survival are still in development. Quotes, I have a lot of questions concerning the status of some of our previously announced projects now that Saber has separated from Embracer, Willits wrote. I'm happy to confirm we're still working on a number of titles, including the 3 that I've mentioned. I'm not going to mention them again. We're so excited about these titles and can't wait to share more with everyone soon. Warhammer 40,000, this is an end quote now. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 was set to release this past winter, but it was announced in November that it had been significantly delayed. The game is now set to release on September the 9th. John Carpenter's Toxic Commando is a cooperative FPS in which players have to destroy the Sludge God, an evil creature which can turn people into zombies. The game will use Saber's Swarm engine and will be released in 2024 on Xbox Series X and S, PS5 and PC And this is where it gets exciting. Announced in December, Jurassic Park Survival is a single-player action-adventure game set the day after the event of Steven Spielberg's 1993 film. It was officially confirmed earlier today that Embracer has sold off Saber Interactive, the group hub to studios 3D Realms, Slipgate Ironworks, and more to a group of private investors for $247 million. Saber will keep studios Nimble Giant, which made Star Trek Infinite, 3D Realms, Ion Fury. This is me saying, if you can't see this article, I'm saying one thing and then the games they've worked on, if it's relevant. So, do you know what? I'm just going to keep splitting them out because it will just make it easier for people listening. Yeah. Saber will keep studios Nimble Giant, which made Star Trek Infinite, 3D Realms, which made Iron Fury, Sandbox Strategies, New World Interactive, which made Insurgency, Slipgate Ironworks, which made Graven, Madhead Games, which made Scarred Above, Fractured Byte, which made Borderlands Legendary Collection, and Digic. Embracer will retain Tripwire, which makes Chivalry, Beamdog, which makes Mythforce, Tuxedo Labs, which makes Teardown. Do you know what? I'll stop there. Actually, no, I won't, because this is a good sort of jumping off point coming up. Shiver, which makes Lucius, Aspire, which makes the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, as well as Snapshot Games and 34 big things. We'll leave that there. But big news. Jurassic Park Survival, Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, and John Carpenter's Toxic Commando are all still in the works after Saber splits from Embracer. Exciting?
Very.
Very
exciting. It would have surprised me if things like Warhammer didn't get, and obviously Jurassic Park, because both of those IPs are incredibly big. I'm trying to put into context how big those IPs are. I don't want to say that they're too big to fail, but the resurgence of Warhammer over the last 3 or 4 years has just been. I don't want to say it's come out of nowhere either, but it caught me by surprise.
That's Henry Cavill for you.
Yeah, do you know what? I think that's what it comes down to. I think that is in large part to it, because there was that one video being shared around, wasn't there, about him being on a Netflix show and the co-host just not necessarily mocking him, but being very surprised by what he's into, and then he gets to vibe with the other guy who's obviously a massive nerd as well. So I do think that it did have an attributing factor to it. But yeah, it's most certainly caught me by surprise, and obviously Space Marine. Warhammer Space Marine that came out maybe I want to say 4 years ago. I've not got the date in front of me. That was a very, very good game by all accounts. So yeah, I can't see that. I couldn't see that one ever not coming out. And then Jurassic Park Survival only got showcased.
December.
I'm looking at the date now.
It was about 8th of December. It was when I was in Bologna. It was the Friday. The Friday morning I saw it. It was the Thursday evening was the Game Awards. So, yeah, Jurassic Park Survival announced by Saber Interactive then. Because it was it was the Blade game from EA or whatever it was. I can't remember who it was. And then Jurassic Park Survival. I was like, what the fuck? I missed one night of fucking video games because I'm traveling to Italy, and fucking hell, it goes pop. But yeah, exciting to see that Saber are still working on some of the big things that they had moving. It's interesting to see how they've split things up, though. Like, I wonder if... I mean, Warhammer is not an IP that Saber owns, but it's a license for an IP that Saber owns. I don't know how things work with John Carpenter's stuff. I assume it's just a license to work with him and use his name on stuff, just like it would be to use Warhammer or Jurassic Park for Jurassic Park Survival. So they aren't games that Saber owns or brands. They are brands that they've licensed, which is interesting because you've got brands like EA that have said categorically they are going to move away from making IP games for licensed IP. So obviously over the last few years you've had your Star Wars and things like that EA have put a lot of money into. So they said that we're not just going to spaff a load of money into making those games now. We're going to make some of our own original stuff, which is funny because we've got Iron Man game in the works and all the rest of the stuff. But that safety of using external IP, because you know it comes with the Marvel name and the stuff that comes with that, so bums in seats, guaranteed sales and so on, but it costs you an absolute fortune. So if you fuck up your development side, you can't count on the name to bail you out. And these brands have realised, oh shit, lazy development doesn't ever work, even if it is big IP. So they've moved away from it. So I wonder if Embracer have gone to Saber, yeah, you can keep Warhammer, you can keep John Carpenter's name, you can keep Jurassic Park because those are expensive IP. Get to fuck. You take those and leave. And then Embracer have gone, but we know that the Star Wars Battlefront games have already smashed it, so we're going to keep hold of those. Thank you very much. Which then leads us nicely on into our next story. So, Embracer have decided to let Jurassic Park Survival and the rest go, but keeps hold of Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. Chris Scullion at VGC says Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection Studio confirms critical errors at launch. Oh no! So we've been working to address these issues, Aspire says. So Aspire is obviously one of the devs that were mentioned in the article about being split up that didn't leave with Embracer, didn't leave with Saber and has stayed as part of Embracer Group. So Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection Studio Aspire has responded to the game's negative launch. The game, which was released on Thursday, which is obviously yesterday at the time of recording this, has been met with widespread criticism on X, Reddit, and on its Steam page, where its user ratings currently stand at 19%. 9% positive. Yikes. So according to some players, when the game launched, some mods featured a maximum of 3 PC servers to accommodate the entire community. This meant that out of over 20,000 players on PC on launch night, only 192 were able to access some of the game's mods. While more servers were reportedly being added in the hours since launch, players continued to report bugs, stuttering, and in some instances, weapons failing to register damage to other players. That sounds so much fun when you finally get into a game and you shoot someone and oh my god. Oh, so Aspire has now posted an update on the game's official support page acknowledging the issues and saying efforts are being made to remedy them. We'd like to thank the Battlefront community for their overwhelming support and feedback for the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection release, the statement says. At launch, we experienced critical errors with our network infrastructure. The result was incredibly high ping, matchmaking errors, crashes, and servers not appearing in the browser. Since launch, we've been working to address these issues and increase network stability, and we will continue our efforts until our network infrastructure is stabilized to prevent further outages. Okay, we'll stop there. I'll just give you a little bit of wrap up bit. I'll miss a bit out, but then go. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection includes all original bonus content from the 2004 Star Wars Battlefront and its 2005 sequel, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Just in case anybody didn't know, I wanted to read that bit because obviously there has been 2 more Star Wars Battlefront games that were EA games that were released in the last what was it? When was it? Must be 7 years-ish. It's not those games. Yeah. It's the original ones from 2004 and 2005. Nice. Okay, I didn't want to frame that as pointing fingers at Aspire and going, lol. It was more just to draw the conclusion, the fact that Jurassic Park Survival is something we are mega excited about, and that is still being in development, in development from Saber Interactive. But yet, Embracer, which rightfully a lot of the industry is seeing a very, very dark cloud over the games industry, decided to buy all of these brands up during lockdown, thinking this is the golden goose that nobody's even looking at. Wow. And then when obviously the industry retracts, when everyone can go out and do other things, suddenly goes, oh fuck, we wanted to sell all this as a package for $2 billion and someone was gonna do, and then they didn't, so we now need to fucking just let things go. Decided to keep hold of the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, and it went bad for them. It's obviously sad for the teams that Aspire. They clearly will be suffering from this, and it could, to be fair, it probably could lead to more negativity from the Embracer side of things. But obviously, you can't help but just laugh at things from a car crash TV sort of standpoint. But yeah. Thoughts, Mr. Bibb?
Yeah, I mean. It was always going to be an uphill battle with things like this because people say that they want remakes and they want re-releases exactly the way like you have Tomb Raider as one of the very most recent examples of this. It's had the upscaling treatment to it, but it's still just as difficult as it was back then. And then you have stuff like this where people have wanted to play Battlefront, the original Battlefront series online. They've now got the ability to be able to, but obviously it's a lot jankier than people either remember or what they was coming to expect. So it's just putting out fires constantly, and it always is with stuff like this. I think this day and age, like, can you believe that we was in an era where you could just get a game on a disc and then never have any future updates? Whatever you got on that disc was exactly what you got, and it wasn't that long ago, Graham. So
it is amazing.
Sorry,
just jumping in there. It is amazing to think that we always look back at that as being mega positive. And obviously there were some negatives. What was that story that you mentioned? Was it like an Aliens game or something where there was a 1 instead of a 0 in one bit of the code?
Like Colonial Marines, I think it was.
Fucked up the entire game forever, but it was on the disc. There was nothing you could do about that sort of shit.
Yeah.
So there is negatives with that, but I completely.
Yeah, that's one of the best examples. Like you say, it was. I'm sure it was Colonial Marines. I don't think it was AVP. But obviously, people who were playing it on PC, someone just go, hold on a second, it should be 1001, not 1010. Changed it, and the game is just like exactly how it was meant to be. Like the aliens are they're pinning you up against walls, they're stalking you, they're doing exactly what aliens should be doing,
rather than it just being
yeah. But it's just small things like that end up changing the entire concept of the game. But this is just going to be one of those that they're putting out fires. It's going to be a couple of weeks, I reckon, before this comes up. Like, I'm sure Jack was saying that they only had like 5 available servers when the game came out.
Oh, even so they had in this article, it said, I think it was even less than that. Did it say?
I've closed the article down now and I can't remember.
Maximum. Some mods featured a maximum of 3 PC servers to accommodate the entire community. That meant that even though there was 20,000 PC players, only 192 people could play. What the fuck? Imagine having 20,000 people in a room and then going, okay, like 1% of you can play at a time. And then so they take 1% out of this room, throw them in another room, and then it doesn't work. It's like you're playing dodgeball, but you don't get a ball. Like, what the fuck? So I've queued with all these people, got my 1% chance, and I don't even get a fucking ball in a game of dodgeball. Yeah. What is this?
It's mental, but we've always looked towards the future of video games going, I can't wait for everything's just going to be amazing. And then we're 15 years ahead of what we would have been saying back then. And we're still in a very similar situation across the board. It's just, it doesn't matter what's going to happen, is it? When it comes down to technology, it's not always going to work straight off the bat. There's always going to be fine tuning and things like that. Again, it was a minor miracle that we actually got good games on discs that were then it's essentially never touched again. You look at all the golden age of football games and things like that, they never had weekly updates or anything like that. They just worked out the box. Or you're grown to live with the small inconsistencies that happen with the games.
Don't sweat the small stuff sort of thing. Like, and I definitely believe that is a big thing as well. Like, how many times have you seen, particularly in sports games, because they're annual cycles, so it happens more than other things, how many times have you seen developers change? They have a vision, and then some people, either it's the masses or it's just some vocal few, don't like their vision, so they instantly implode, worried because of the pressure from shareholders or whatever, and change their vision. So it might be, say WWE is a game that you're going to be playing tonight. Let's say that, not that this is had that. I'm just trying to name an impartial one kind of thing. Let's say WWE decided that they wanted the game to be realistic and they wanted to slow it down and they wanted to put some weight behind the wrestlers and so on. And then it comes out, and because Bibby's kind of a big fucking deal in the world of wrestling video games, comes out and he goes, well, this is shit. I mean, I want to play WWE in your and a WWF in your house arcade game from the SNES. I want Doink the Clown to come running out and actually pull a fucking hammer out of his pants and slap him and then put it back in like it was in a cartoon sort of stuff. I want that sort of shit. And then the developers go, oh fuck, Bibby's a big deal. So we're not even at launch. This is early access. We should probably start changing that stuff and putting it in for him. So when the first proper patch comes along, we can fix that. But then it launches 3 days later, and all the rest of the world are going, oh, this is great. I'm actually really enjoying this. But then 2 weeks later, the first patch hits, and all Bibby's feedback's been incorporated, which undoes all of their initial vision for the game. And it's like, well, now I'm stuck somewhere between what you wanted it to be and what other people want it to be, and it's not really doing either, and it needs a proper identity to stick to. Back in the day, you got what you got, and if you didn't like it, you fucked off. And if you did like it, then you keep it, and jobs are good. And there is something to be said for that. Like, and it's interesting to see those old things like Star Wars Battlefront, the Classic Collection. By the way, the stream title says, the discussing now says Star Wars Battlefront Collection, Classic Collection equals woof. That was because the name of the game is so long, I had about 4 characters to play with, so that's all I went for there.
Well done with the woof, by the way.
Yeah. like, it's interesting to see games that you just had to stick with it. You had no option other than to just like it or lump it kind of thing, being brought into this modern environment. Because you've got multiple forces at play there. There's a lot of people that have rose-tinted glasses and were just forced to like Star Wars Battlefront, the classic ones, that they were forced to like them, so that became their personality, their reason for being. And then when we got Star Wars Battlefront again 5 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever it was, and then we got Star Wars Battlefront 2 5 years ago, whenever that one came out. Well, I can hate these games because they're not the games that I wanted them to be. And so, okay, well, we'll give you the games that you had originally. Okay, now I can hate these games because they're not the games that they were originally, and they don't work. So it's probably multiple things. Yes, there is issues with technical stuff at launch, but you can't touch things that people are very, very switched on and engaged with and care about. You can't do anything to that. So people don't like change. So taking their things and giving it to someone else, people don't like to share either. It's not for you. Yeah. It was for me 15 years ago, 20 years ago. You're not allowed to play it now. So yeah, I do feel for Aspyr. I will say though, I did actually check out a couple of streams last night. I never played the original Battlefronts. My internet infrastructure back then was dog wank, so I just didn't bother with them. But I've always, that's a technical phrase, by the way.
Fast forward 15 years.
My internet is intermittently dog wank. It's a significant improvement. Yeah. Oh, fuck. You just wrote my whole world down around me. Nice one. Great. Yeah. Fast forward fucking 20 years. It's still wank. But it's interesting to see those games now, and I tuned in and I tried to watch a few streams, and I must have got pot luck. Either that, or they'd fixed it, or started to fix it by the time I dropped in. Because when I saw people playing it, it was people that I'd seen doing Star Wars content before. So there is a UK streamer called Louise Julie, I think she is, EA Game Changer and a Star Wars fan. So plays all of the Star Wars games. So I thought, playing that, dropped in, and she seemed to be having fun, chatting with the community, having a laugh, playing the game, winning games, chatting to the community, which it shows you then that nothing's going wrong then. Because if they're not talking about it being wanking shit, but I could have just hit that sweet spot. I wasn't in there for long before I channel hopped to someone else's to try and gauge an opinion. And it was the same thing then. So I didn't, it was mainly because I'd seen quite a few stories yesterday about this is a shit show. And it didn't seem it. So on the flip side, GG's to Aspyr, who seem like they're actually doing quite a lot of stuff to get this working. But, 20-year-old game, it's not as if you're fighting 100-player Battle Royale, 250-player Warzone sort of shit and all of that networking connection. You've got 192 people playing at once. It's not exactly going to be hard, is it? So there you go. It says Graham, who has the inability to just fucking turn his stream on some days. Who am I to say? Who am I to say? Wobbles! It flopped harder than Bibby falling over a rug.
I was fouled in the area. I'll have it should have been a penalty.
I mean, I'd have gone for it. Flopped harder than Bobbles. Yeah, we'll call him Bobbles. Fuck it. It flopped harder than Blobfish trying to make the same pun for the 17th time. God damn! If that was Wobbles, it'd be like, oh, a blind joke. How original. Oh, Bibby falling over joke. How original. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, get wobbled.
Get wobbles.
That's what I'm going to make a get wobbles demo. I was wondering why Jurassic Park Survival didn't have a release date. I thought it was nearly ready to go. No, it was never nearly ready to go. It was always just, you've seen 10 seconds of gameplay, if that. It was just a first teaser trailer with like cinematics of key Jurassic Park moments, but in game. So it was never anywhere near ready to go. We didn't have dates. We didn't have nothing. But usually, if you have that big of a pop in December, you then start to hear stuff in Januaries and Februaries. We're now like mid-March and we've still not heard anything. Me and Bibby thought, do you know what? We're fucking hyped for this. We're going to make a TikTok cutting up some of our content from December to show that we're hyped for it. And didn't get a like, let alone a response or a comment or anything from any of the teams involved in the game. And I think that's probably now explained a little bit because the team were like, well, we don't know whether we can or should or shouldn't or whatever. So I'm actually quite happy that this has come out because that shows us that they weren't just mugging us off, not being us, but just people in general, because that's never a good sign for a game. There's so many times when developers have come out and just not interacted with people that are trying to make content for their games, and their games flop because they go, I don't give a shit about you because I'm not ready to talk. And then when they want to talk at release, people go, well, I don't give a shit about you because you were never happy to support me. And it's that dance where not even just us, because we are obviously the biggest creators in the world, smaller creators like, Shroud and Dr. Disrespect and Summit, little guys, if they wanted to play the game and they got mugged off, then they'll be like, I don't give a shit when it comes to launch. So it makes me happy to think that Jurassic Park Survival and Saber weren't being ignorant, they were just preoccupied. So yeah, it's a good sign. The fact that they can probably now just start getting all hands on deck. They don't have that EA situation where their global social media lead for Apex has just been yeeted. People can now start to plan for the future because they know that they've potentially got one being bought out. So that's good to see. It hasn't been canned, has it? No, the opposite. Saber Interactive has just been bought out. And they're not part of the Embracer Group now. But there's been no word on it since December, and that's, we assume, probably why. So it's actually quite a good thing. Silence makes you worry, but it turns out that it's silence that's just led to a potential positive outcome. So it could be good. Excuse me. Wobble says, !chair. Nice. This is a GT Mega Zio chair. Pow. Same with Bibs, but we also have GT Mega chairs everywhere now. We're slowly taking over the world. We've got some in the studio. We've got one in Wobbles' house. We've got one in 12's house. They'll be everywhere. Nice. Yes, it was Colonial Marines. Good memories, Bib. It was 6 servers in total from what was covered on BBC's Click show. 3 for PC and the others were for console. Yikes. Henry Cavill all the way, says Spiffy. Yeah, I bet, mate. Yeah. Oh, a bit further up. There's lots of conversation going on that I've not seen. I bought the Steam version, an Xbox version, because it was refreshed by a fun game that felt pretty good, even as a preview, says Tito, talking about Palworld. Goodbye, Shamrank. You've probably been gone a while, but see you later, mate. Dear Grandad Tito, did your Xbox stuff carry over to PC? Oh, you mean cross-save? No, it doesn't. Oh, did you think he was talking about you and Spiff having a joint account? is that what you thought? Because that's what I thought he was getting at. I didn't see the follow-up bit, so yeah. The Palworld we have is on mine, so you couldn't get in without me, though, right, Tito? Yeah, sucks to be you. It's like me and Bib, the game we started on stream. I can't play it without Bib. That happened when you use actual English to ask a question, Sweat Dog. To be fair, if Tito thought that, I'm in the same boat, because I thought that's what he was getting at as well. So, yeah, I can't play it without you telling me what to do, Kappa. I'm the new club number 10. What's the name of the team now? We'll just call it Not ICUFC, because everyone knows what we're talking about then. So you're the Not ICUFC number 10. All right, nice. Did you just pour on yourself?
No, it did. This was stuck to the bottom of my cup, so when I lifted it up, it just fell on me.
I just saw you pick your bottle up and go.
Scared me a bit, Graham. I wasn't expecting it.
I've heard that Henry Cavill has a dirty microwave. I feel like this is a setup to a joke. What? What? Tell me the next bit. I don't know what to say there. Henry Cavill. Someone Google that, see if we can find the answer. In the meantime, I'll jump into our last story of the day, seeing as we are over time. And that is this one from PC Gamer. Obviously, usually, and is this week as well, written by Morgan Park with contributions from Lincoln Carpenter. Get the adverts out of here. Yeet. So from March the 14th, which was yesterday, to March the 21st, which will be Thursday, at around 4 p.m. UK time, you can get Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, and The Bridge for free if you've got a Epic Game Store account. So this is your !FF free game Friday. Nice. So even if you've never asked for this week's first Epic freebie, it's here for us to grab with both cybernetic hands. The cyberpunk RPG sequel to Human Revolution, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, has one of the world's favourite gravelly voiced cyborgs back in the covert ops business. Also available, The Bridge, an Escher-inspired, non-Newtonian puzzle game with 48 stages that require warping your sense of physics and perspective. There you go. So if you want something different to play, Deus Ex Mankind Divided and The Bridge, both free until Thursday on the Epic Game Store. Skadoosh. Get that right in your basket. Set that discussing down now. Any of those tickle your pickle?
Deus Ex is meant to be amazing. I've never played it. I'm sure I've actually got it on my Xbox, to be honest. I'm sure it come in a bundle one time. Is it immediately obvious?
Yes.
No, I can't see it.
It's right there, mate.
Just right there. Right there.
Just there, mate.
Just there.
No.
Actually, I do have a copy of this, though. How weird is this?
Whoa.
Aliens Colonial Marines.
Stick a 1 in that bad boy.
But yeah, not really. But I've already added them to my account anyway, because why not? The free, Graham.
Exactly. So grab them if you want them. Free Game Friday. Fill your boots. I insulted someone the other evening by saying they looked like they had a dirty microwave. Okay. So it's an in-joke. You had to be there. I get it now. That's why Tito said this yesterday. Oh, well, that makes sense. Tito came to the boys playing clubs on a Thursday with a fresh new joke, and it wasn't his. He'd stole it from someone else. Imagine my surprise. Love you, Tito, mate. Most likely, I have the best insults. Ha! Bibby can't see, says Wobbles.
To be fair, this is why I have these. I mean, they're not permanently attached to my face like yours, but I do wear glasses the majority of the day now, which is horrendous.
I see.
But here we are. 33-year-old Bibby's eyes are starting to fuck.
Are they? God damn. On that bombshell, there's TOS and that and stuff on Twitch. We're going to wrap things up high, but not anymore. It's more of a bye. We're going to disappear. Thank you, everyone that has stuck around for the stream tonight. We appreciate you dropping in. This has been the only scoop this week, and that is a pattern that is continuing probably for the sequel. Not that we only do Fridays, but that they will still be patchy while we get things in order. You will have seen that we are doing more things like getting more brand partnerships involved, trying to utilize our bits on the front page, trying to pivot into making more short form content when we're not on stream, and all of that jazz, just so that we can make content that covers all bases with more people and stuff involved. So yeah, apologies for the lack of consistency. I'll say it every time on the scoop, because we want to make the scoop all the time. Sadly, it's not our main job, so we can't do that. That's why we appreciate it when you guys do turn up, and when, like Shamranks, you drop in and you gift Sweat Dog, not him specifically, but people in general, subs. And Sleepier Teethan, which I still think should be Stephen, but he's just hit the wrong key there. Thank you for the follow. Shamranks for your 38-month sub. Nathan for your 3-month sub. Appreciate you all. Thank you very much for supporting the channel, even though it's only the second time this week that we've been live. But that's it for the week, right, Bib? Is there anything else?
Yes, we are obviously streaming tonight with some WWE content. We're going to start our My Rise journey and dabble into some My Faction stuff as well.
Big up Dave Granger.
So, yeah, it's Grave. You nearly made me say that, you bastard. You nearly caught me slipping. Not this time. Grave Danger will be making an appearance at some point this evening.
Nice. So yeah, WWE 2K tonight. You can drop in for that. I will be back tomorrow morning with some PUBG. Tomorrow. I'm not sure how the day's gonna unfold. I'm either going to stay on for a long time, I'm going to drop off and jump back on, or it could just be your usual sort of jump on, jump off. I'm basically unsupervised tomorrow evening, so I don't know whether I'm going to jump back on stream or I'm going to sit there in my underpants and chill out with Milo, like two boys with balls that we just let hang out. Not that I do that, but Milo does. He's only little, but his balls are not anything but that. So, yeah. Anyway, enough about dog balls. Before any of that happens, is there what you want to add, Mr. Bib?
Yes, thank you very much for joining us for today's episode of The Scoop. It has been the only one, but we will definitely try to give you at least one episode next week. So if you do want to help us with that show, there's two ways you can do so. First of all, find us on social media. It is at Ice Cream World across all major social media platforms, or alternatively, get involved with our Discord. All you need to do is provide us with the URL plus your thoughts and opinions. We will then give you our thoughts and opinions on the very next show, which will be at what time? At some point next week, Mr. Graham Day.
I'm going to guess at 10 a.m. Ish. 10 a.m. Ish. Ish. Yeah, something like that. Wobble says, bye, Pro Clubs. None of us are called Pro Clubs, mate. You silly sausage. You've clearly got that wrong. God damn. But yes, if you're asking me to play Pro Clubs on a Saturday evening, I mean, we've just said earlier on this stream that we've got copies of Outcast and Alone in the Dark. Plus, we've got brand new controllers and things like that. I don't think playing for not ICUFC is at top of the list, mate. So there.
Very fair. Very fair.
But maybe. But definitely no.
Who knows?
But still maybe. Yeah. No, I'm probably gonna, not even any of those. I'm probably gonna do some WWE stuff. If I'm not on stream, I'm probably gonna go and start trying to get used to WWE 2K24 because I've got it installed and stuff. I'm gonna go and tinker if I'm going to do anything, so I won't be in clubs, but I may do other bits. Anyway, please do feel free to stick around and join us for the raid. Hi Doom, how you doing, mate? Good to see you, mate. How did you get on with your shape throwing stuff the other day? I was in a car on the way back, I think, when it was going on, or I'd seen I can't remember. But yeah, how did it go? Was that the other night, or is that coming? Give me the details. Let me know. I'll chat to you in the Discord if not in the stream. Until next time, we will raid someone. Stick around for the dying, nice. Stick around, boss.
You're stroking out.
Yes. Stick around. Until next time.